What's going down, good people? I'm Valet Delroy. This is Right with the Valet. Welcome back. We're back in the garden today. We have a full schedule. We've been working on music, so we posted a new song. We're going to work on some more music today. What else do we have to do today? We're going to be making some salsa, so stay tuned for that. And so we're just going to have a wonderful time. Let's just go ahead and get started right now. We're in the backyard on the back porch. And we got the coleus here. These are my coleus. Hello, coleus. Say hello. As you can see, they've been growing. Grew these from seeds. They've been going really well. We have a lot of new growth in here. And I'm going to flip this around and show this to you in a second. And also, we have a lavender plant, and this is doing really well growing. I want to show you how I've been getting more of this growth to come along, you know. And yeah, so let's get to it. Alright, so let's look at this lavender plant. This might not be the best angle, I'm sorry about that, but look at this tip of this leaf right here. If you look right here behind my finger, you'll see that there's some new growth coming in right there. You know, you can see these two little buds, right, like they're coming out. And one thing I do is when I see those start to appear on my leaves, I just pull those off, you know, gently down like that. And within a week's time, the new growth like these right here all start coming off, and that kind of helps with the plant. Just like I did the same with all these. That's where all this new growth right here is coming from. Oh, get out the way. All these new growth along this stalk, you know, has come as a result of me doing that same thing. Pretty big right here. So one thing I'll do is I'll look underneath, check to see if I got two spores coming like this right here. And then some people don't like to do their plants like this, but it's a plant, and the plant is resilient. So now I've created more space for these leaves to grow, other leaves to grow around it, and it's gonna get bigger in a couple of days. So yeah, I like that. All right, let's go to the front yard and check on those bugs and see what we could do out there. So regarding the larva and the white caterpillar moth or bug that was laying eggs in the front plant, well, it completely devoured my little broccoli and kale plants that I was trying to start, and it's moving on to the big broccoli plant. And so, as I was doing a little research, there are a few things they said would get rid of those. You can pick them by hand. You can use like a light soapy water. I don't want to use that on my plants. You can use something called BT. You can get at the store, like a garden shop, whatnot, and that's something that the caterpillars will eat, and it will basically cause them to die and stop eating your plant. Another method they said you could use is cornstarch. They love to eat cornstarch, but in the same way, it's something that will help get rid of them and not damage your plants fully. But I like to try to do things that are organic. So what I've done is I looked up what kind of essential oils I could use in the garden. And you know, most people are using things like peppermint, thyme, rosemary, some of the organic herb oils that are already naturally found in gardens that deter bugs anyway. So one of the things that I did, okay, sorry I'm so close to y'all, is I'm going to use a little thyme oil. I'm going to use some peppermint oil, and I'm going to use a little bit of rosemary oil. Probably use 5 to 10 drops each, put them in this water right here, and then we're going to go out there and spray our plants, and then we'll examine them in a few days and see if there's any change to the amount of larvae, caterpillar, moths, and little bugs that will be coming around what's remaining of my kale and my broccoli plant. Okay, so I just wanted to do that before we head out to the front and I start talking about what's out front again, because it's probably been about a week since I was last talking about what was out there, and I wasn't able to get to those larvae, and so I just, you know, called it a gift from God for those little bugs and allowed them to eat them up because I was so busy I just didn't really have time to attend to them. And maybe I'll get on here and talk a little bit about wisdom and gardens later from the book of Proverbs, but as far as right now goes, let's just go check out the front. Don't forget to stay hydrated. Drink your water, juice, tea, coffee. You know what I'm talking about? 'Cause water is for life, you know what I'm saying? Alright, if you've been here for a minute, you probably recognize the patio from the front right now. What we're going to do today is we're going to check on these larvae, check and see what damage they've done to the plants and how we can treat them. And then I also want to add some soil and some feed to some of the plants so we can help them in their growth journey from where they are now over this new season, getting in the fall, and see what kind of good growth we could get out of them. So yeah, let's go ahead and check that out. So of course, I just go to Menards or like your local Home Depot type of store and go to the plant section. I get potting soil. This particular soil is indoor outdoor planting soil. And then today I'm going to be feeding with this right here, some blood meal. It don't take much because it's just a porch gardening, but of course you want to read and follow all the instructions on the back so you can do the best with that. I like to use a bucket and add the soil and the blood meal so my measurements are better, and then I'll take it from here and I'll add it to the plants. And as you can see, this is one of those older supposed broccoli plants that the caterpillars got to, and there are no leaves left. There's no plant left. Maybe we can still get some new growth out of it, but first we got to treat these bugs, so let's get to those parts. Alright, so here we have it. It took only about less than a week. That's a weed. But it took less than a week for those larvae to just completely eat all of the broccoli and all of the Brussels sprouts that were coming up in here. And they moved on to my bigger broccoli and bigger kale plant. I said Brussels sprout, I meant kale. But as you can see, it happens really fast. Oh, thank God for the sun. And that's a weed plant. They didn't want that. But they also, so far, haven't wanted my jalapenos. They haven't gotten to my carrots. They haven't gotten to this spinach yet. And look how beautiful this spinach is growing. Let's get some sunlight. Woo. So the spinach is growing lovely. The cilantro is growing. Thank God for the cilantro. And then, of course, our oregano, our onions, our basil. I saw a white butterfly on the basil today, so hopefully our basil, we can do something to keep the basil okay. And then of course over here we have our Chinese celery and our parsley. But look what's going on over here. I think one has actually got to this this kale plant. One's probably got to this kale plant, and aside from all those other things, it's still trying to eat away at it. Oh man. Alright, let's go ahead and take a second. We're going to look at our big kale, our big broccoli, and our tomatoes over here. And maybe what I can try to do is keep my herb plants around this broccoli and move it around my other plants and try to keep some of those critters away, huh? But of course we'll see. Alright, let's keep moving. Alright, here we go. Let's have a direct look at the broccoli. Look how big these leaves get. Bigger than your whole hand. But when you see these little circles, look. Something got in there. He's just been having a great time. And of course your broccoli stalk is going to come from right out the middle, so we want to get rid of these. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use my pruners. I'm going to take some of these big leaves that have been hit off, and the ones that I can salvage, I'll probably put in a salad or smoothie. And we'll allow some of this new growth as we spray it. Of course, for our kale plant, look how beautiful that kale plant is. Big, beautiful, healthy, dark green, leafy, but also something that's been getting ate up. As you can see along the edges, ate up. Where's that sucker? Probably won't even find him today. But I'm gonna pick those off, throw them off, spray it, and brush the plant. This one still hasn't grown fully, but even then they're eating some of this and allowing some of it to stay. This little one is getting eaten up even though it's trying to grow out the middle there. Right? Our garden bean is doing really well. It's just growing. I have 2 stalks down here. And I'm very, very proud of this. I put it in between these plants so I could get shade and sun and thrive. And then the tomato plants, these are doing really good, even though some of it has been taking a hit from the sun. But of course I've picked a few off. I've already had my first fruits of tomatoes, and I'm gonna add those back to the soil. The first 3 that I picked off, but those are growing, these are growing, these are growing. There's another little bit of color under there. So we're gonna add some potting soil to all our plants today. We're gonna prune them up and thank the Lord. Maybe we'll pick some herbs and we can use some of them this week in our dishes. I'm gonna use some spinach in my eggs because I'm gonna make some more bread later. And then I'll come back and show you the patio after I've done all of that, okay? And maybe I'll use this to mix the soil. Yeah, we'll throw our soil in there and our plant feed, and that'll be good. All right. Again, I'm Valet Delroy. This is Robert the Valet, and you're in the porch garden with me. I want to thank you for the little bit of time that you're spending here. Hopefully, you're learning something from me, because I'm always learning from others that are also on YouTube. And as I get better at using the YouTube tool and more comfortable at posting and sharing, I'll get better at sharing the tools that I've learned with you guys also, so that you can see what I see and we can all grow together. So if you have anything to add, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. That's always a blessing to me and those who also watch and may come across these videos. Train coming, hold on. But also it's just a major encouragement, I think, to everyone who watches. So there's a lot of wisdom that comes from talking about gardens, how you tend the gardens, how you water them, how seeds are planted, how they grow, the seasons that they grow in, and the manner in which one must learn in order to care for the garden properly to get the full production out of it. And maybe people who farm and are into growing things know are paying attention to stuff like that more than us. But it's the same with our lives. It's the same with our business. It's the same with our children. It's the same with our friendships. Any relationship you have, anything that any type of seed, even in the way we think and in our minds when we plant things, all they need is a little water and a little light to be shown on that thing for it to grow and become fruitful in your life. So if you're sowing seeds of negativity and destruction versus sowing seeds of positivity and hope and creation, those things are going to grow, and you have to tend to those things. You have to physically put your hands in the dirt. This stuff won't grow on its own and thrive on its own unless it's in conditions and has the type of things. My bad, I cut off the video, but anyway, let me skip to this. There is a proverb out there where he says, I walked by a young man's garden and I observed it, and it had thorns and thistles growing out of it, and he realized that all it takes is a little bit of rest, a few breaks, maybe I can do it later, for your garden to be completely crap, basically, and unfit and unkept and unfettered, and that we should be diligent in caring for the garden of our lives, so that we don't fall into traps that ensnare us. Anyway, read Proverbs, love yourself, love the Lord. Remember, you can take what's in your mind, turn it into something tangible. valuable for yourself and others. All you have to do is believe, be willing, get to work. I'm Valet Delroy, Ride with the Valet. Love. All right, so these are our first fruit tomatoes. Sorry, gonna get the first fruit tomatoes here. These came out first, so these are actually gonna go back in the garden. I'm gonna put those back into the dirt, and then we'll taste these, have these later in a little bit with some of this fried zucchini my wife made, which is great. Look how big those are. Better than the store-bought. I got kale and broccoli that's gonna go into some smoothies here later. And then this is from the zucchini. This zucchini right here was the size of my calf leg. If you could imagine, just look at that. Yep, that's how big it was. Came out the sister-in-law's garden, and it tastes amazing. Anyway, let's go back out to the garden and see what we did there, and wrap this up. Appreciate y'all being with me. Rock the Valet. All right, so we have our soil ready, and all I have left to do is prune these two. I'm gonna prune these two, and then I'm gonna add some soil to them. Sorry. I might get some of these onions out because they're already so tall. And I've already done a light spray on the plants, so we'll see what that's about. The lavender, got our first little lavender coming up right there. So I pruned this plant. That's what you saw inside. So I took this little paintbrush, a little soft one here, and for all those little seeds and things that were on the plants that the bug, the little white moth had laid, I just brushed it all off like this. And I went down each one and up each one and brushed off of the plants, if you could imagine, anything I saw. So any critter I just brushed off here on both sides, and it didn't damage the plant or the leaves at all. So that's a nice little trick you get in there, and you can get those little seeds and those little bugs out just by running this little brush here along your plant, and it won't mess up your plant or anything. So to the tomatoes over there, you'll see that one to go back in the soil. We have two over here that are gonna go back in the soil, and then we'll just prune it up a little bit, and we'll add some topsoil to all these. The garden bean is doing really good. Thank the Lord for that. And add some topsoil to all of these, and monitor them over the next week or so and see what kind of new growth or better growth, maybe new or no bugs, we can get out of them. Already, see, started pruning this plant. This one already started sprouting out, and a bug had already started to eat it right here. Gosh, man. Ain't that something? Okay, let's get to it. We out here sweating. It's nap time, so we gotta go kiss the babies, and then we'll be back to finish. Pretty much done pruning that plant. So we're just gonna fill up some topsoil on all these plants. And yeah, it's been a good day. I appreciate y'all. Ooh, look at this, y'all. I got a cap full of Chinese and what we would call regular basil. Look at that. It smells so wonderful. Also, got some parsley and some Chinese celery on the docket. Some nice crunchy kale. What else can we do? Alright guys, check it out. This is it. Spinach, peppers, carrots, cilantro, basil, smelling like thick licorice, onions, and parsley, and kale, and a whole lot of tomatoes doing their thing around there. Broccoli. Okay, garden bean down there, and then a little bit of flowers in the back end. So I'm just spraying the last coat of this here essential oil mix, and hopefully we'll check them over the next few days, and I'll let you guys know if they're thriving or if they're doing something else. I appreciate you for being here with me. This is Ride with the Valet. I'm Valet Delroy. This is the porch garden. You know what I'm saying? You can do it too. Plant a seed, watch it grow, tend to it. Maybe it'll change your life. We are out here sweating profusely, getting the job done. I would love to have some land have a large garden and some other crops I can grow and do so many things. You know, I'm really into that, and maybe one day we'll get there. But until then, you know, like, comment, subscribe. You know, check out the music, check out my website and things, and just stick along, comment, you know, engage. I appreciate y'all. I always say that, but it's true. I'm Valet Delroy. This is Robert the Valet. You know what I'm saying? Go love somebody. Peace. We ain't gonna lie, y'all know what time it is. It's time for the salsa. I forgot to get garlics, but luckily I have some minced garlic. I'm gonna use that. White onion, poblano pepper, and then tomatoes and cilantro. You know what I'm saying? Lots of cilantro. We're gonna put them all in this little blender right here. Make some beautiful salsa. You know what I'm talking about? Dig it.
This formula smells gross. All formula smells gross, but this one smells different. What's going down, good people? Glad you're back here. It's the end of the night. We have our salsa made from some of our farm fresh vegetables that we got from our sister-in-law, her family. So the last thing to do is to taste that green salsa. That's good. That's real good right there. Last thing to do is put a cap on it, refrigerate it. Now y'all know how to make it too. Of course, you could tweak the ingredients to your liking. That's where it's at. You know what I'm talking about? I'm Valet Delray. Let's ride with the Valet. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. I'll see y'all in the next one. What's going down, good people? I'm Valet Delroy. This is Ride with the Valet. I write. I do music. I valet. I like to learn. I like to grow things. I like to cook. I love my family. So I got links in the description. All my social media stuff is in the description. If you want to follow, like, subscribe, that'd be dope. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers like everybody else who started this is. So, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate that. Like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. You know what I mean? Just giving what I got. And we're going to do a whole lot more. You know what I'm saying? Right.